This video is to show you how to do the results for the Antacid lab on a Macintosh. Now, it helps that you download Excel onto your Mac. You get it for free through Inside Portal, but it has to be installed onto your computer. And it doesn't seem to work very well in web browsers. So, this is an Excel spreadsheet. I downloaded it from Canvas, and we have the columns of our antacids. This year they did Pepto, Tums, a couple other Tums, Galveston, which we don't use anymore, Rolaids, Pepsid AC, which we're not using anymore, and water. Now, we want to make a bar graph because we're looking at just about how well each one did. So we're going to need to average it. So we don't care about each individual set. So we have a bunch of 0.62, 6.5. That's probably a typo when they entered it. We want to know the average amount. So I'm going to highlight this. You should start Excel here. It says Home. I go over here to Formulas. And where it says Auto Sum, I'm going to click on that little down arrow, click Average. So Pepto, it averaged 0.662 milliliters. And this one artificially made it higher. So now I could do that for every single row. I could highlight it, and I could do average, and that takes forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control C. I clicked on the box, highlight the rest, Control V, and it gives me all of the values. Now, if we look at this, Tums Ultra and Tums Extra are about the same, 1.3 milliliters, 1.3 milliliters. That makes me guess that this is just marketing, that those are actually the same amount. And we have Rolade X here being 1.6, 1.7. So this one's actually the most effective antacid. And that's what you have to talk about in your conclusion. What is the most effective one? Now we want to make a bar graph for that. So I'm going to highlight these values. I'm going to then go to Insert. I'm then going to go to the bar graph, and they like to call them column graphs. They like to call that a bar graph, but this is really a bar graph. And I am going to do clustered column graph. You could do 3D clustered if you want to be cool, and there's our graph. Now the problem is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you could do a legend, but what I like to do is I like it to automatically fill in. So I'm going to click here, and this computer actually has a right click. If you do command click, it will take you to the same thing. So this is when you left click, nothing happens. When you do command click, you get this box to pop up. And I want select data. And I have name. I could actually name this. And which is best. And then lets me label the horizontal axis. So I'm going to click there. And I actually know how to type in what I want, but see this little thing right there? I'm going to click on that, and this box pops up. It's going to let me come over here. I'm going to highlight the names that are all in there. It's going to fill it in for me. I'm going to click OK. Presto, you have the antacids and which one is the most effective. So here, Rolaids is the best. Tums and Tums Ultra are about the same. We'd actually have to run something called a t-test to see if this value is significant or not. And then Pepto doesn't do very well in this test. Pepsid AC doesn't do very well in this test because they actually function different ways than buffers, and water just didn't work at all. Now your teacher might want you to do a mean for this. So if you or your teacher might want to do standard deviation. To do the standard deviation, you would highlight it, go to Formula, go to Insert Function, and then you would type in, can't see it because it's all over here, then you would do standard deviation, and usually it shows up when you type it in. So that is how you do the graph. Now, the one last thing that I don't like about this is it doesn't say what unit this is. This is milliliters. So I am going to go into format up here. So here's format. And I want to click on chart design, and it gives you different chart designs up here. And what I look for is just one where it is going to label the x-axis for me, and apparently none of them do. Aha, so this one lets me label it. So I just click on this one or this one, and then I can click on here, and I can do milliliters HCl absorbed. Now, one last thing I want to say about this is that these are milliliters absorbed. You only make about 0.2 milliliters of hydrochloric acid in your stomach at a time. So it actually absorbed a ton of acid. A lot of times in the conclusions I get, the antacid doesn't work. Well, actually, Rolaids works very well. It absorbs a lot of acid because there's 2 buffers in it. So this is how you do your graph for the antacid lab. Have a good day.